Hey, y'all, welcome back. Episode 129 of the Late Night Vision Show. We have, you're not going to believe it, we've got another scope review. But thank y'all for joining us again this week. It is Thursday, the normal time and place for your podcast, your I guess, one-two shop go-to for anything night vision and thermal related. Thank y'all for joining us if you're listening on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. It takes an extra special step for us to produce these videos. And Mr. Jason Robertson, the owner of Outdoor Legacy, who is fresh off his birthday week. So we got a chance to wish him all happy birthday, but he has survived. He's not wearing his birthday suit, I don't think, because I haven't seen him yet. But let's hope he's not. Welcome. What's going on, buddy?
Thank you, sir. I am covered up in my birthday suit. Yeah. And yes, and I don't think that I had a birthday week. Okay, I think it's just one day is all I got, but it was a good day, and I did make it, into my next year. So hoping for another good year. But what is going on this week with you, sir?
Well, we're going to get right into the review here in a little bit, but this is going to be probably the best night vision scope you've never heard of. I think you explained it to me that way. This is the best night vision scope that you've never heard of, and we're excited about bringing this review. But we've got, the hog hunting right now is going really good. It seems like the change of weather has been drawing everything out. I've been shooting a bunch of hogs, been testing a bunch of scopes. As you know, we've been testing and using. We did a review of the Hogsters, been using those. Obviously the XG50, been having a lot of fun with that, and been shooting lots of hogs and coyotes with it. So
I want to mention one thing. You mentioned the Hogsters real quick. We've got a lot of questions of when are y'all going to do a Bearing Optics Super Hogster review, and that will be coming. Right now, I'm still using one of those on my rifle scope, been shooting hogs with it. And Hans has been testing so many other things that he hasn't got a chance to really use it much in the field. So when he gets some time behind it, we will be doing a review of that very soon. But I've had a lot of questions in the comments. Hey, when are y'all going to do it? And we haven't forgot it. But as we keep saying every week, scope reviews, handheld reviews, it's kind of an odd time for them, but we've got a ton of them.
We do.
And so we're just going to keep cranking them out. I know also Trail 2, Pulsar Trail 2, XP50 and XQ50 laser rangefinder. The LRF models are out. Super high demand, super low supply. People keep saying, when are y'all going to review those? We're going to, I promise. We've just got so much to do, and we're trying to strategically get some of it out. And so anyway, trust us, we're working on it, folks. Yeah. We're trying to get them as quick as we can.
It's a good week, though. I'm pretty sure if you listen to the end of the podcast, episode 128, I'm fairly certain I'm not wearing my wife's T-shirt tonight. So for all of y'all that stayed tuned to the very end of that episode, you might have had a little chuckle at my expense. But we are, and I'm not going to explain the story again. If y'all want to know, y'all going to have to go listen.
Exactly.
But we are back. This weekend coming up here in Ben Wheeler, which Ben Wheeler is the official hog capital of Texas. We've got the Hog Festival, so it's a big deal here in this area, wild hog capital of Texas. But let's get right into the review. Again, this is the many of you may not have heard about this. Many of you may not know this even exists, and there's a growing number of people that are calling about this on a daily basis, wanting to know more about the Sightmark Wraith. I'm holding one up right now. The Sightmark Wraith HD. What are they calling this? The 2.0 or 2 power? What's the official?
Power. Yeah, it's the Sightmark Wraith HD 2 power as opposed to the 4 power. It's a 2 to 16 by 28.
Yep. So we're going to be reviewing this today. This is obviously a night vision scope, so it's a little bit different from what we've done before with the thermal scopes. Everybody, if you don't know the difference between night vision and thermal, we've probably got a dozen or so episodes somewhere in the past that explains the difference, but I know many people are new to night vision and thermal hunting, and we're going to be getting into the specifics of this. But yeah, we're going to move forward. We're going to talk about everything from the specs, as you can always expect from us, an overview, who it's good for, the ranges, We're going to talk about, obviously, our likes and dislikes, and then we're going to wrap it up at the end. Somewhere, hopefully, anywhere between 40 minutes and 1 hour. We are, it's like throwing a dart, at the side of a barn and landing on the top.
We never know where we're going to be. Exactly.
But, we try to make these reviews as in-depth and as thorough as possible. Not to get too far off topic, but I've got a new review coming out very soon on my YouTube channel. It's the full review of the Pulsar XG50, the Thermion XG50. And the difference in here with this podcast, you get, we're diving in deep to these scopes, like I said, with the breakdown of all of these on my channel. A little bit shorter reviews, a lot less talking of me, and people are happy about that, but you get all the videos. So if you see these units, you want to see video through them, go check me out on YouTube at Hans ETX, HANS ETX, shameless plug. Jason, roll right into the specs with that beautiful bean footage. How about that?
There we go. Okay, so this is in my opinion, greatest digital night vision optic to ever come to the market that nobody has heard of.
There you go. You explained it a lot better than I did. Yeah.
It's what I'm here for. No, I'm just kidding. So here's the thing. The dealers knew about this optic for a little while beforehand, but Sightmark dumped this thing on the market in August of this year, 2020, and just surprised everybody. And they kind of rolled out some stuff on their website, social media. Hey, we got this new 2-power. We had them in stock that same week, so it was really nice. They'd waited till they had them here. Great deal. And honestly, that was it. Nobody's mentioned them again. Yeah. And Sightmark, I love y'all if y'all are listening, but I think they forgot that they have this scope, because I haven't heard one single thing anywhere.
It's been there's been so many things being pumped out by Pulsar, and a lot of exciting things, which obviously Pulsar, Sightmark, they're American distributors, Cellmark. So there's been a lot of things going out, a lot of things we've been talking about and have kind of been pushed out, and we talk about things based on a schedule of when we think these things are going to be ready to ship. But yeah, this has been pushed off, and it's good that
we pushed it off. We knew the XG was coming. We were working on that. When this thing was announced, we were a week or two out from the XG announcement, the Pulsar XG50, which was a huge announcement for the whole industry. So Hans and I were working behind the scenes on that, trying to get footage, trying to get stuff ready. So this thing, we pushed it off, and we had all these other reviews lined up, and it's kind of one of those things where it has just gotten pushed to the side, and it's a shame, because I think it's a awesome scope, and we're going to get into it. So if you don't know what this is, it is a Sightmark Wraith HD. It is a digital night vision scope. That means it can be used day or night. And when Hans was talking, I started thinking, oh man, I didn't even write this down anywhere. This is an important thing to note. It is full color HD during the daylight. And that was a spec that I'd left off. Most night vision scopes, a digital night vision, are black and white during the day, but the Wraiths are full color HD. And so you can push a button, it flips over to night mode, and then you've got the standard normal black and white at night. This unit is $499. We'll talk a little bit down here in a minute, kind of comparing this to its big brother, I guess you could say, which is the original Sightmark Wraith HD. That's the 4-power. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's the exact same price. So here's what we've got. It is a 2-power base magnification. So the lowest the optical magnification goes is 2-power. It does have digital zoom going all the way up to 16 power. It's got a 28 millimeter objective lens, and the digital night vision imaging sensor, digital imaging sensor, because it is daylight too, is 1920 by 1080 resolution. So that would be considered a 1080 high resolution. It's got a FLCOS display, and that is 1280 by 720 resolution. It has 10 different reticle options that you can pick from 9 different colors, changing those different colors. It also has video recording on a micro SD card that you can optionally stick into the side of it. It does not have a microphone, so there's no audio recording, just video. It is rated for up to and including a 308 recoil. It is water resistant, and it takes 4 AA batteries, and you're going to get somewhere around, give or take, 3 hours. You may get a little longer, may get a little less, depending on your temperature and your overall usage, but 4 AAs. It also has a USB external hookup, so you can take any kind of $30 USB battery pack that you would charge your cell phone or your iPad or something with. Plug that into the side, and you can run this scope for hours and hours. Now, you can run it all night long on a $30 battery pack. It weighs 33 ounces with the batteries inside, and it's rated for down to 20 degrees. That was something that when I was looking those specs up, that surprised me. I thought that was lower than that, but I was reading it. One place I had said 5 degrees, but I found this here officially on their website is 20. So that's the official rating there. It does come with a standard Picatinny mount on the bottom. It uses 2 thumb screws. It is not quick detach. I'm sorry, I can't say that. Quick detach. So when you put it on there, yes, you can take it off with these thumb screws, but you don't need to plan on it returning to 0. There is a quick detach mount option as well as a bolt action mount option. We'll talk about those a little bit more in a minute. It does have the option for 5 different rifle profiles, so you can zero it on up to 5 different rifles. If you do that, you're definitely going to want the quick detach mount, and again, we can talk about it. It comes with it included in the box is an 850 nanometer infrared illuminator. It will mount right on the top of the scope. There's a Picatinny rail there with a Picatinny mount on the IR light, so you can just mount it right up on top of there on the left or the right. That light, again, is infrared. That means it glows soft red when you look into it, but it projects no visible light. You can't see it. We can't see it. The animals don't see it. That's a whole nother discussion, but it's an infrared light, not a white visible light, not a red light, not anything like that. It takes 2 CR123As. It has 3 brightness settings on the rear tail cap, and we'll talk about this a little bit more about the yardage of what we think you can get out of that and kind of upgrade. Now, real quick, since I'm doing these specs, I just want to go ahead and kind of roll into briefly how this compares spec-wise with the Wraith, original Wraith, which is the HD 4 power. And this is something I've gotten a lot of questions about is what's the difference? Why is it the same price? The only difference in these two optics, the only difference is that the Wraith 4 power, which is the most popular unit only because it's been around for 1.5 years now. And nobody knows about the 2 power yet. But that unit is a 4 power base magnification. It goes up to 32 power. And it has a pretty narrow 21-foot horizontal field of view at 100 yards. This unit is a 2 power base mag, up to 16 power digital zoom, with a 28 millimeter objective lens and a 42 foot field of view at 100 yards. So it's twice the field of view out there at 100 yards, which is really, really nice. They are the exact same price. And when we were first told about this, Hans and I's first question to Sightmark was, what's the price going to be? And they said, the same price. We said, why? And they said, because it costs the same thing to make it. I mean, it's like the only thing different is the lens. I mean, that lens is not a huge expense. And so, whether it cost them a few dollars less or not, it doesn't, wouldn't make any sense to make this unit $10 less. So it's the exact same price. And that is all the specs in a nutshell.
Yeah, go get you a drink of water. Now, on your notes, did you have on there that it run off 2 CR123A batteries? Because I think that's what you said, but it does run off.
No, I said four AA batteries, but the light runs off of 2 CR123s. Yeah, I don't know what I said.
All right, I want to make sure that everybody's not confused by that. Yeah, the IR light runs off the CR123As, and the AAs run off the run the scope. But so
Exactly.
I know you mentioned talking about the mounts. You want to get into that real quick? And
Yeah. I've got these here. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to hold these up. This mount right here is, and I know you probably can't see it real well, but this is a replacement mount. It is a quick detach mount. It's got 2 quick detach locking levers here. So you can take the mount off the bottom that has the thumb screws. And FYI on those thumb screws, you can thumb tight those things. You do not need to take a wrench. You do not need to get those things overly tight. If you want to, put just a little pressure, fine, but don't take your big wrench and tighten those things down. So this is, don't ask me how I know. I get the phone calls all the time. This is the QD mount, and it's a nice little mount. We have them for sale at Outdoor Legacy. We sell tons of these. They are $59.95. So basically $60 for that replacement mount. If you're wanting to switch this thing from rifle to rifle, you have to have one of these. I mean, unless you're going to go re-zero every time. Now, one of the questions that we always get is, hey, is this a high quality mount and will it guarantee return to zero? And my answer is maybe. So it is a decent mount.
Yeah.
It is what you would expect to get for $60, and it's what you would expect to put on a $500 optic. Sightmark could obviously make this to be super high quality, super high end, and it would cost like some of our other mounts that we see for, those kind of mounts are sometimes $250.
Exactly.
Not many people want to buy a $500 scope and put a $250 mount on the bottom of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the trade-off, okay? Yeah. It's a $60 mount. In our testing, it holds 0. I've had some customers that are way more into this than me. And I know Colonel Chester Cupp that does work for us, does our blog writing that you can find at outdoorlegacygear.com. He's done some testing on this unit. He owned a Wraith. I guess he may still own one, but he did some testing and had decent luck with this thing, taking it off and on at 100 yards. So my answer is yes, it works. Test it for yourself. But no, it's not a high-end, American Defense mount.
Yeah, do yourself a favor and get the QD mount. It's $60. It's
worth
you'll like it. And if you're shooting hogs at 50 yards, yes, it holds 0.
Absolutely,
it's going to hit the hog if you change rifles.
If you're shooting coyotes at 200, you're going to hit the coyote. It's. And I'm being serious here. People are listening to this going, man, it's the worst sales job ever. It works.
Yeah,
we've sold hundreds of these. I promise you, it works.
Yeah.
Next, I want to show you this. This is going to be harder to see on this video, but this is the Wraith bolt action mount. And this is an ingenious design. I'm really glad that Sightmark did this. I really, really like this mount. If you have a bolt action rifle, or maybe you've just, got a fixed stock AR-15 or some other type of rifle where you just don't feel like you can get the scope back far enough for the proper eye relief. And if you have any type of bolt action, you're probably going to need this, okay? The standard mount or this quick detach mount is probably not going to work. You're not going to be able to get the eyepiece back where you need it. This mount, and this works for both the QD and this bolt action work for both of the Wraith HDs. But basically what it does is it slides over your scope bases on your rifle. It will also slide over a Picatinny rail if you needed it to, and it's got a set screw on each side. You just lock that little Allen head set screw down. It's got multiple holes in it, so you can move that scope forward or backwards wherever you need it, get the proper eye relief. So this is not quick detach. If you put this on your rifle and you want to take it off, you're absolutely going to have to re-zero your rifle, no question, or your scope, I'm sorry, no questions asked about it. That unit is $39.95, so basically $40 for that. If you're shooting a bolt action or anything with a fixed stock, most likely you're going to need one of those, and you're going to want one. Super little mount. It works really, really well. We sell a lot of those as well.
Yeah, and those mounts are good and as well. And get yourself a QD mount. You'll love it if you're putting it on an AR rifle. Absolutely a must-have. But so everybody wants to know ranges of every scope. We always talk about what's the range, and in this case, with a night vision scope, it really all depends on the IR light that you're using. That's what's going to make or break this. These units, the Sightmark Wraiths, the regular 4-power, this 2-power, they're unbelievable scopes, and they have really good picture image. But when it comes to distance, it's all going to be about that IR light. So with the stock IR light right now, I think similar to what we did with the original Sightmark Wraith, the 4-power, it's about a 200-yard IR light. These scopes will see almost as far as that light will reach when it comes to the distance of using an advanced IR light, like a sniper Hog Light, which is the one that we suggest. But for this particular scope, what I found, again, similar, it's the same IR light that came on the last, the 4-power Sightmark Race. It's about a 200-yard, maybe 250-yard IR light. And if all you shoot...
Yeah, and I would say 250 is generous. I'd say it's 175 to 200. If you've got some moonlight, kind of helping this, or some other ambient light, you might get 225, 250. But I just tell everybody out of the box, 150 to 200 yards. I would not plan on much more than that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people out there that call that want a night vision scope because they're, it's something for just hunting around the house. A lot of people use it for varmint hunting, keeping, armadillos or raccoons or possums out of their yard. So they're just shooting 25 yards at the most. So if that's you, if this is something you're going to be hunting primarily under 100 yards and you don't need a high-powered IR light, then what comes on it's perfect. I mean, there's no need to change. And
I agree.
There's a lot of people in that category. Don't feel like you've got to immediately switch to an IR light. Think about what type of hunting you're doing, the application you're going to be using it for. As always, if you're, have any question about this and you're looking to buy the scope, obviously you can call Jason. You can get on the website and find out if this is the right unit for you. But I'm going to plug that in real quick. Jason's number is 877-350-1818. All this stuff's on the website, outdoorlegacygear.com. So let's get to IR lights, because we've had a lot of discussion on this show about Sniper Hog Lights. That's the brand that we use. That's the brand that we sell. I've got a few of them right behind me right now that we swap in and out to test. We've talked about the new advanced LED or IR bulbs that these advanced bulbs that they're putting in the new Sniper Hog. Yeah, what's that?
they're gonna shoot you. It's not a bulb. Yeah. It's an LED module. How about that? Not a bulb.
Goodness.
He's showing old man here got his Edison bulb out. No, it's an LED.
It's a bulb
module.
In East Texas, it's a bulb. So LED modules.
We're talking to some people that aren't in East Texas or the South right now. So we gotta appeal to everybody.
And if you're over 40, it's a bulb.
That touche. There you go. Yeah. They knew what we were talking about.
Yeah. So the LED module. Yeah. So what the great thing about that is it is allowing us and me and Jason to use a smaller housing Sniper Hog Light, like the 50 millimeter. Before we really liked the 66. Now with this improved LED module, we're able to drop down in size. So it means a smaller light on the end of your rifle. And the ranges, these are always a tricky situation when you talk about ranges, especially with lights. So Sniper Hog Lights, we had Jason Brooks on the show, who represents part of the company with their social media and branding and that type of thing. And really said that it's going to push the power of these lights up into the next category. So what that means is the 50 millimeter is now probably going to shine as far as the 66. The 66 could quite possibly be reaching up there to where the Canon is. Now, there definitely is an increase. We've tested them.
There's a huge increase.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say the 50 millimeter Sniper Hog Light with this with the Sightmark Wraith 2-power. Conservative, I'll say 6.
Before you say it,
yeah.
Do you want me to tell you what they say with their test?
Yeah.
Would that be better rather than me and you saying something and then being, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? I'm going to tell you what their tests say, and this is straight from Sniper Hog Light. With the 50 LRX, with this new 850 IR, they're saying 600 yards, which I think that's realistic.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's realistic. The 66, 800 yards, the Coyote Cannon 1,000 plus.
Yeah.
So you're going to look at a couple 100-yard increase with each of those. And I mean, I think you'd agree with those numbers, wouldn't you, Hans?
I'm not just saying this. I was actually going to say 600 yards. It was halfway
I was afraid you were going to say like 2,000. I'm like, hey, hold on, but
2,000.
No,
yeah. I think 600 is a good number for that the new 50 LRX, the 50 millimeter, and I absolutely agree that it can reach out there. If you plan on using this unit to hunt anywhere over that 150 consistently, 150 plus, you're definitely going to want to take a look at getting an improved IR light like a Sniper Hog Light. And again, we sell those over at Outdoor Legacy, but we mount those lights not on the unit itself, not on the scope itself, but we are mounting those under the front barrel of the rifle, and so you can get mounts to go with that. It just works out better all around for the performance of the light when it comes to taking a shot and that white out from the cloud from shooting and all that. So I would agree with those ranges
real quick. Yeah, only reason I'm jumping here is we're running out of time and we haven't talked at all about the scope yet. And I wanna say a couple quick things. I know
this is changing it up. You're giving me the hook.
Well, no, I know what's going to happen. You're just going to end the show in 10 minutes, and we're not going to have talked about the scope. So I'm trying to jump in. Yeah, so we do sell all these Sniper Hog Lights quickly. I'm going to just kind of put a bow on it and say this. There's multiple models. They are confusing, but here's what you need to know. The 50 LRX is a 50 millimeter head. The 66 LRX has a 66 millimeter head. The Coyote Cannon is the size of a coffee can, and it will shine to the back side of the moon. So get the one that you think is best. Hans and I are using the 50 because it's smaller, it's lighter weight. Okay. It sees way past where we need to. I still have a lot of guys that say, man, you know what? It's only $10 more to get the 66 for the whole kit. Sell me the 66. I want to be able to see further. If I can see 200 yards, let's do it. But most people, the 50 or the 66 is enough. If you're in big, wide open country and you do want to see forever, the Canon is the way to go. Hans is right. You can mount these optics on top of the scope, replacing where the stock IR is. It's not the best place. The best place is getting them out towards the end of the barrel, either underneath or on the left or the right. But if you can't do that, then, mounting it on the top of it is better than nothing. Now, with that said, we have talked about the IRs, but let's talk about this scope and what it will and what it won't do. And, this isn't necessarily going to be a direct comparison with the 4-power, but we have to do that since that is the standard scope and thousands of those have sold. How do you compare this? Who's it good for? What's it do? I mean, let's get a brief overview of what you think about this optic, day and night.
Yeah, this is going to be, and goes for both day and night. I think this is going to be an improvement. There's a lot of people out there that do like the higher base magnification of the HD 4-power, and the good news is that's not going away. But there was a lot of people out there that said that they wished it was a lower base magnification. Whether if that type of hunting is something that is attractive to you, where you're taking majority of your shots are taken, at 150 yards or under, increased field of view is definitely going to be a benefit for you, especially if you take a shot and an animal starts to run. It is easier to keep that running target in your line of sight through the scope. That's the main advantage of having a wider field of view. So, what I think there's, we talk about different areas and different hunting, but there's a lot of coyote hunters out there that prefer a little bit lower base magnification because of the fact of a lot of times when they take a shot, a coyote will run or they're trying to take multiple targets. on one set. So there's a lot of advantage for a lower base magnification, and it's not just the type of animal that you're hunting, but it's also the environment you're hunting in, whether it's wide open spaces or more of a wooded terrain.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm a huge fan of the 2-power. I'll just tell you, Hans and I both have kept a 4-power unit. I mean, we've both kept one since our very first review of these. We've had them, liked them, used them, but I'm just going to tell you, the 4-power is gone for me. It's 2-power all the way.
Yeah.
And I mean, the 4-power is great if you're shooting 150, 200 yards all the time. But here's what I like about the 2-power. I've got this double the field of view. And if I want 4-power, one click. One click with the digital zoom, and I'm at 4-power.
Yep.
And I still have a great image quality.
Yep.
And speaking of that, I want to just real quick, this is something a lot of people coming in to digital night vision, there's just a little misunderstanding, misconception. They go, oh, this is a 2:16. Or it's a 4:32. So I can just crank that thing all the way up. Then they call and they go, man, it just looks terrible at 32 power. It looks terrible at 16. Well, no kidding. It's digital night vision. So every time that you increase that, you're going to lose image quality. You're losing resolution. Unlike your daytime scope where, you know, from 3 to 9 or 4 to 14 and you crank it over and you're just moving two lenses. This is all done digitally. So you don't want to be at 16 power on this unit, okay? So if you're on the people that like to shoot at these super high mags, then get the 4-power, okay? But the hindrance is just going to be on your closer range shots. You like Hans just said, you're gonna lose that field of view. If you're hunting over feeders, and maybe you got feeders at 75 or 100 yards, hey, the 4-power is fine. You know where the hogs are going to be. You're hunting over a carcass, you know where the coyote's going to be. That's fine. But if you need any type of scanning with the unit, if you don't have a handheld and you're going to be looking with the rifle trying to find stuff, I definitely say go with the 2-power. And like I said, you can zoom it to 4-power and still have a great image quality. Yeah. And one thing I want to talk about real quick, because I don't want to harp on this too much, but it is worth mentioning. It is a legitimate daytime optic. Now, personally, I'm not going to go throw away my, daytime scope. I'm not going to go throw away my Leopold or my Zeiss optic for deer hunting, but there's a lot of guys that are deer hunting with them. My daughter killed her first deer with a Wraith HD 4-power last year. And tonight she saw me making some notes and she said, what are y'all talking about on the podcast? And I said, the Wraith HD 2-power. And she goes, well, that sounds like the one I killed my deer with. And I said, well, you shot the 4-power. And she goes, do I get to shoot a deer this year with the 2-power? And I said, we'll see about it. So it is usable, beautiful image quality during the day. So that is a nice thing if you've got maybe one rifle or you like to keep one rifle in your truck or you only want to carry one hunting. That's where I think it really comes in. Personally, for me, I'm not going to get rid of my daytime scopes. But it is nice to have it on the rifle and know that you can do both very effectively.
Yeah, I have buddies that are big-time deer hunters that are going to be shooting their deers now with the Wraith instead of their daytime optics, mainly because they want to record the hunts. And that's the –
yeah.
And you're right. It is such a beautiful daytime image. The videos turn out fantastic. I will be day hunting with one this year. So, there's a lot of people that are switching over and using these as their main daytime optics. But so let's get into, we talked about who it's good for. So again, if you find yourself in one of those categories or if you have some questions about which category you're in, you can definitely holler at us. But the likes and dislikes, I know you like to start with the dislikes first. Do you want to continue with that?
Yeah, let's get that over with. Let's talk about the bad stuff and then get to the good stuff. There's not a lot of bad about it. I'm going to be honest with you. One thing, I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. People complain about it. It does not have audio recording.
It doesn't, yeah.
It's video only, okay? So It is what it is. There's no microphone. They're not going to turn it on. There's not a lot of people keep saying, I'm waiting for the update. There's no microphone. It doesn't exist.
It is not going to record all your funny jokes that you and your buddies are talking about in the stands.
Exactly.
So it's not going to record
all it's going to hear is, if it had it, would be crickets and bangs.
Yeah.
So that's it. But it doesn't have it. Yeah. So if that's a deal breaker for you, you need to look at something like the Wraith 4K Max that has just come out and will probably be readily available in 3 or 4 months on the shelf.
Yep.
This, I would say, okay, it doesn't have audio. I think the units are pretty heavy, overall. I just think they're a big metal housing. They feel like something that you could drop off your roof and bounce down the driveway and they're still going to work. I mean, they are built like a tank.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, pretty heavy at 33 ounces. That is with batteries. I'm trying to think of something else I don't like about it. I mean, I really don't have much. I think my likes are specifically this one. I like the wide field of view, the lower magnification. I think it's where a lot of people are going to want to be. I like that it's simple to use. This is one of the simplest digital night vision optics to have this many things in it. People hear this and they go, oh man, I'm never going to figure it out. We've sold hundreds of these Wraiths and I have been very concerned. I've got a lot of older guys that buy them that are like, hey, I'm, not tech savvy. I'm concerned. I don't know if I can run this thing. And they get me concerned. Like, I don't know if you can either. I'm hoping you can. You should be able to. And then we never hear back from them. 6 months later, they call back and go, man, my buddy wants to buy one of these. This is the greatest thing. We love it. And I go, you have any trouble? No. I mean, they really are simple to use.
I was going to say, this scope, out of probably all the ones that we sell, you get the least callbacks on how to set it up, how to sight it in.
It is.
I mean, and you're right, from people that are concerned about technology, but it is very simple setup process, sight in process. I'm going to go out on a limb to say this. You will not find a scope that you can sight in, I think, easier than this one. It is.
I agree.
It is the simplest thing, and you sight it in during the day on a normal target. You can zoom in real close. That way you can see where that shot, the point of impact is. It's easy, man. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than this. I completely agree with you on that.
Do you have anything you don't like about it?
That I like or don't like?
Don't like that. I mean, I just...
Yeah, the only thing I said that I thought of is it's a little heavy. That's the only thing I don't care for. The things that I like about it that you haven't said yet, the button layout right here, it's kind of an ambidextrous design, so it's easily convenient with right hand or left hand, whichever you're going to be using to control the unit. You can also switch, if you are going to mount the IR light on the top of it, on this top rail, you can actually switch this around where the light can be on the right hand side or the left hand side. So I think that's a pretty good design as well. So, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed, you're trying to do all this stuff and work this stuff at night, it's easy to be able to have this stuff conveniently in the right place and easily accessible. As you said, it's sturdy. It feels sturdy, and that's part of the the weight that we talked about. But all in all, with the ease of use, with the performance of the scope, the picture image at night and during the day, what made this, and I think you would agree with this, Jason, what made this scope so wildly popular, because there was a lot of night vision scopes out on the market, but this is one of the least expensive ones that came out on the market that had full color HD picture during the day. And I think when people heard that on the original Wraith 4-Power, when people heard that, I mean, they were instantly like, I want it. I got to have it. I do see this 2-Power being just as popular because, again, there's been a lot. That's why they made it. I mean, they're not, like I said, they're not getting rid of the 4-Power, but there was such a demand for the 2-Power that they just added it to the line. They're not taking anything away to make room for this. It's just, the same exact price. They just wanted to be able to take care of a lot of people out there. I envision this now that this 2-Power is out. There's probably going to be a lot of people that are going to be selling their 4-Powers or using that as a backup scope and buying the 2-Power because they feel like it's going to be better for them because there's been a lot of demand for it.
I agree, and I think that a lot of guys getting into night hunting for the first time, they're used to daytime hunting, and they're used to using high magnification. Yep. Well, I shoot that deer out there at 100 yards and I crank my scope up to 9 power.
Yeah.
Why would I want, why would I want 2 power? I want 4 power. I want 8 power. Well, at night, it's a different ball game. I mean, all you see is what you see. You're looking through a toilet paper tube, you've got this tunnel vision and you need the field of view and you don't need that much magnification at night.
Think about the majority of the day hunters out there are deer hunting. I mean, the vast majority of them are, I can understand it taking a nice tight shot, zoomed in almost as far as you can get, because you're more than likely aren't going to be taking a running shot on a deer. It just doesn't, you don't do that. It just doesn't happen very often.
Well, but you can also pull your eye back and lean over and see with your other 2 eyes, with your full field of view with both eyes, where that deer's running off to.
Exactly right. So having that 2 power, there's a lot of people that we know of, Jason, that are in a deer stand, deer hunting, but pigs walk out and it's a kill of opportunity, I guess. And they're just shooting a pig instead of shooting a deer that may come out. So the 2 power, I think, is going to be the better all around choice when it comes to using this for not just deer hunting, but for any type of hunting.
I think if guys were in the field and they had them both side by side and, they're doing, I would say, almost any type of hog hunting, and even a lot of guys that are coyote hunting, I think there's a lot of them, if they could see it side by side, would choose this 2 power. Yeah. One more thing I want to mention, and we didn't really get into this, we kind of glossed over it. A lot of people may not be familiar with Sightmark. I think it's worth saying Sightmark is a Texas company. They have excellent customer service. They're known for building reliable products. Their digital night vision optics are great, all the way back to the Sightmark Photons, which really is what opened up the world of digital night vision hunting, for this $600 and less. And so this is just their latest generation as they've built on. It's got a 3-year warranty. And so, again, if you have problems with it, you deal with Sightmark here in Texas. Great company, great people. And I just can't say enough good about this scope. So I think it's going to solve your problem for, again, night hunting, but also if you happen to, only have one rifle or only want to keep one rifle with you, you can absolutely go deer hunting or hog hunting or coyote hunting in the afternoon just as well and keep the rifle with you and then use it, on into your night hunts.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So if you are looking to purchase the Sightmark Wraith 2 power, and I know, like I said, I know there's going to be a lot of people that own Sightmark Wraiths right now, the 4 powers, and they love them, but they want a little bit lower magnification. Give us a call at 877-350-1818. You can always hop onto the website, outdoorlegacygear.com. You can always call Jason, talk to Michaela. You can even talk to me. And we are there to serve you, and we thank and very much appreciative of all the customers that reach out to us and choose Outdoor Legacy for your next night vision or thermal optic. So I'll let you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just want to say this, a lot of people tell us, hey man, loved your review. You helped me make my choice and I bought the scope somewhere else. And I'm like, well, that's great. But if you want to support Hans and I, and you want us to keep the podcast up and you want us to do this, please, if you can, consider us for your business. We'd love to have it. It helps Hans and I. It's how we produce the podcast, and we have reviewed at this point way over $100,000, maybe $200,000 worth of optics on this show in the last 3 years. And so we're bringing it to you. We enjoy doing it. We enjoy what, all the feedback y'all give us, and that we do enjoy helping you. So if you can, and if you're able to choose us for, Outdoor Legacy for your business, we would love to have it. We'd appreciate you and we'd love to serve you. Thanks for coming and tuning in. Every week we come back here at the Late Night Vision Show on YouTube and again on all the podcast apps with another dose of either a scope review, whether it's thermal, night vision, whether it's hog hunting stories or coyote hunting or something related to the hunting industry. We try to bring you something relevant every week. And I know sometimes people say, man, I'm getting tired of all these scope reviews. And there's times that we wish we had a scope to review. We're so busy, we get all the scopes done, and then we're looking for other things. We're talking about other topics, and people are saying, man, I'm tired of y'all talking about that review of scope. So right now we're in the season of scope reviews, but we do appreciate y'all coming back every week and listening to us. And you can always find us at theLateNightVisionShow.com. You can see all the past episodes and learn more about us there. As Hans mentioned, OutdoorLegacyGear.com. That's the place to find all the optics that we talk about. If you want to find Hans and all his reviews, he mentioned it earlier, but it's Hans ETX on YouTube. You can also find him on Instagram as well. He's over there posting pictures and videos of dead hogs and stuff all the time, but his reviews are on YouTube. So go check those out. Yep. Again, we do appreciate y'all coming back every week.
Well, and like Jason said and mentioned, or maybe alluded to, please buy from Thermal Night Vision and dealers that are producing content. We're not the only one. There's a lot of them out there, but
sure.
the people that are out there doing the work, creating the videos, creating the content that you can see and make an educated decision, the best way to keep all of that content coming is to work with the dealers that are actually doing the work in the field and not getting paid any extra for it, but they're doing it to help you and the consumer out to make that best educated decision. And so that's the best way to keep.
Yeah, I was going to say one quick thing. Hans and I are friends with some of these guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are legitimate friends with these guys. There's some good guys in this industry, and there's a lot of these guys that are out doing just as much or harder work than we're doing, and they're great. And I have no problem with those guys getting business either. So Hans is exactly right.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there, but please buy from people that are creating content. If you want the industry to move forward, continue to grow, to help the quality go up, to maybe someday help the prices go down, it's going to take people out there creating this information and making the sport more popular. And the way you can do that, again, is to support dealers that are creating content. So thank you all very much. Next week, episode 130. So we're getting, it's a nice even number. So episode 130 next week. Thank you all for joining us this week, and we will see y'all soon. Stay safe in the fields and keep making those bacon pancakes.